Has there been a major event in regard to Hedera? Well, especially when it comes to the developer side of things, I would like to say yes, and I'll explain why in today's video, even though I am not telling anyone to do anything. This is just my opinion, and nothing I say is financial advice. So Hedera recently announced Hedera Agent Kit version 4. Now, people like to say, who cares about this? But let's just think about this logically. The key to having good adoption, in my opinion, is sometimes through developers, because when they build something on a certain place, let's say whatever they build gains attention, that place that they built on kind of goes along with the ride. So it's a important thing to have a lot of developers. And I think this, again, Agent Kit version 4 really does help developers moving forward, because, for instance, if we take a look at the concept of even just this Agent Kit in the first place, we have to take a look at it. It's basically kind of a toolkit, as the name goes, or framework for building AI agents that integrate with Hedera. So this does really matter. And as of right now, AI, it's a big narrative, hasn't really seen too much attention as of right now when it comes to this space, but we have seen a lot of attention out there when it comes to stocks and stuff like that. So clearly it's a narrative. It just really hasn't entered this space in a massive way. But besides that, this does, again, help greatly for developers out there, in my opinion, that really do care about AI. So it's really fantastic, especially when I consider just how massive AI is currently in a global perspective. And keep in mind, there's Agent Kit version 4 now, right? So we have to think about that. That's version 4. A lot of other projects out there, they're like version 2. They're like, oh, what's that? It sounds so strange to a lot of these other projects, because they're not thinking about version 2, version 3, version 4. They're not thinking about that. They're thinking, oh, we're going to launch it and then just wait for the hype to come in. That's the case for a lot of other projects, but I just don't see it here, because if truly Hedera had the Agent Kit basically just as this marketing tool or marketing gimmick, I should say, they wouldn't bother with a version 4. That's the thing. A lot of people out there seem to think that Hedera doesn't care about this type of stuff. Oh, they're only doing it for marketing or something like that. Well, no, apparently they still do care about it. If they really wanted to do it for marketing, couldn't they just have hired Justin Bieber or something like that? I don't know. Right? I'm pretty sure that the Agent Kit version 4 took a lot of, resources and capital when it comes to Justin Bieber. Even he was at Coachella, so Coachella could hire him. So why can't Hedera? But it doesn't mean they should do that, and I don't think it's necessarily a wise idea anyways. I think working on the Agent Kit version 4, which clearly there already is, but I'm saying working on the Agent Kit and working on other updates, working on partnerships, that matters a lot more than a random partnership with an athlete or celebrity that kind of has nothing to do with the project in the first place. So that's what I like when it comes to Hedera. It seems like they're allocating their resources in a more wise manner, right? I think they're doing it just a lot more wise when it comes to a lot of other projects. A lot of other projects out there, I feel like sometimes they just don't really do things that are conducive to long-term sustainability. Like usually some of these projects, they make it big, but then they spend very massively on like advertising and like, hiring random athletes or celebrities, putting up billboards and stuff like that, but it doesn't really improve on the project. So I wonder what's their long-term plan. I mean, that type of stuff works if there's a good market sentiment, like if there's an altcoin season, but usually when the market goes down, that type of stuff doesn't really matter anymore. But what happens? They already spent a lot when it comes to that. So when the market's down, they don't really have the capital to kind of make it through a market downturn. And then that's when we see these projects announcing that, they're closing up shop, they're stopping operations. That's when we begin to see the aftermath of such decisions. But I just don't see it here when it comes to Hedera. So it's I guess, amazing thing what they're doing, I think, in terms of allocating their resources in a more serious way, in my opinion. However, of course, when it comes to Hedera, people like to say, well, who cares about them improving the Agent Kit version 4? Developers, they could choose a bunch of other places to build AI projects. Who cares about this? Well, let's think about it. Hedera, unlike a lot of other projects out there, it's different by nature. In a sense where Hedera Hashgraph, it doesn't use traditional blockchain technology. Other projects, they do. A lot of other projects do, actually. So Hedera just by default, just because of the way it is, it's just different. So some of these developers out there, sure, they might be more familiar with like, blockchain technology. They may be more accustomed to that. But some others out there that may be looking for energy savings in some cases, or let's say in the case of speed or scalability, sometimes they might take a look at a directed acyclic graph. It doesn't mean they will, but it is an option. So inherently, this could maybe be a place when it comes to a lot of these AI projects, but we haven't really seen too much of that yet. But is it really that surprising anyways? The market isn't doing the best. What's going to happen? Suddenly 100,000 new developers that are focused on AI randomly enters Hedera? It doesn't typically work like that if the market isn't doing the best. So it's not like I'm so shocked or surprised that Hedera doesn't have the best AI adoption. No, it doesn't surprise me because the market isn't doing the best. And usually when the market isn't doing the best, developers typically don't want to enter. So yeah, I'm not surprised when it comes to this, but at least Hedera is building on the foundation. Like again, as we can see with the Agent Kit version 4, which in my opinion, the foundation is the important aspect. If the foundation isn't there, if the fundamentals aren't good, later on when developers really start wanting to enter, they're going to choose the ones that are more convenient to them, right? The ones that are more advanced, the ones that are more kind of sound fundamentally. And Hedera won't be chosen in the first place if they don't improve on the fundamentals. So that's key, in my opinion. What this is that it's playing more so of the long game, right? It's more so preparing for the long term. It may not be cool, it may not be flashy because it doesn't yield any sort of short-term, kind of excitement. But on the flip side though, what it does is that it could allow for better developers, making it more of a favorable place for developers to actually want to build on. So I don't think it's a net negative. I think it's actually a net positive over the long haul. But of course it takes time. But you know what? I don't mind. I'm waiting anyways. So it's not a concern for me either, but I'm just saying. So when it comes to HBAR, as of right now, people like to say, wow, it's like still around 9 cents, slightly under that. Yeah, it hasn't done much ever since my last video, but that's not the whole point of this video anyways. Like the point of this video is to kind of highlight the recent update that I saw when it comes to Hedera and what I think about it and how it could maybe affect Hedera moving forward. And if the narrative when it comes to Hedera becomes stronger because, a lot of these developers maybe moving forward start choosing Hedera because of its favorable kind of developing conditions, I would say, it could reflect, well, maybe when it comes to HBAR. In a sense where, yes, HBAR is still around 9 cents, but we have to consider Hedera, in my opinion, I think as of right now, is actually better than where it once was last year, which may sound kind of bizarre, but I really do think that way. I mean, we saw McLaren join Hedera's council. We also saw, again, the Agent Kit version 4. We still see Google as a part of Hedera's governing council. So I think that Hedera is more robust as of right now when compared to before. But even despite that, HBAR was able to reach around almost 40 cents back in January of last year, which is kind of ridiculous because the fundamentals were clearly not as good as right now, and it was still able to do that. So if the market sentiment were to return, if it, let's say, was a condition of an altcoin hypothetical season, we'll wait and see. I'm just saying, if HBAR greatly kind of maybe surpassed what it did last year, it wouldn't necessarily surprise me. But still, even despite that, if HBAR never surpasses what it does last year, we're still around 4 times lower than that. So it's kind of to the point where if, let's say, HBAR could just go back to that, it already feels like an altcoin season to me from where it is as of right now, even though it wouldn't be. But if it even surpassed that, right, if it even surpassed like 40 cents or whatever, it wouldn't surprise me either considering the fundamental improvements when it comes to Hedera. But nonetheless, if HBAR even goes to 20 cents, I'm already like so happy actually, because we're over 2 times lower than that. Bitcoin is on over 2 times lower than its all-time high. I'm just saying. So it's suddenly exciting when it comes to Bitcoin if it goes back to its all-time high. But suddenly, if HBAR, goes back to 20 cents, which we're over 2 times lower than that, it's considered so boring. No, it doesn't make sense to me. A 300% movement at the end of the day is a 300% movement. What am I going to do? Complain that, oh, because I saw it through an altcoin, it's boring, but if I see it through Bitcoin, it's fantastic. No, I don't think about it that way. It's still 300% at the end of the day in a pure hypothetical. But This is just my thoughts currently, but I'll be sure to make more updates moving forward when it comes to Hedera, so hopefully I'll stay tuned for that. It's Wally the Captain. Thank you for watching. I'm out. Peace. Bye.